Who turned out the lights during the what are you doing here? Why are we tied up?
How do I explain this to you?
Hello, Tyler. Who I am does not matter. I was born of this awful internet, and as an aspiring YouTuber, you are helpless to my power. I have been watching you, just as I have watched everyone in this miserable cesspool people access from their computers. You want to be a personality game reviewer? It's time for you to stop being forced to play more bad games. Jet Set Radio GBA may have been an accident, but now you won't be able to avoid the other garbage. All thanks to me.
You listen to that demonic voice right there.
Maybe.
Why?
He bought me a protein bar.
A protein bar.
A protein bar.
You helped a demonic fucking hipster.
Hey!
Shut up. Kidnap us over a protein bar.
Those are expensive.
Stop bickering, or I'll destroy the both of you right now. You're here to play a game, not have family therapy.
Alright, I hear ya. What fucking game are you having us play?
Is already right next to you. Just take a look.
No. Why? Just why?
That's right, because I noticed you don't have a lot of trauma with video games. You think you could be a game reviewer, yet you avoid bad games. You have a long history of avoiding shit. But not this game. I know you hate this game. You even showed such hate in your last video on Prime too. Now, you'll play it for the internet.
Alright. Metroid Prime Hunters, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it.
Metroid Prime Hunters was released for the Nintendo DS in 2006, 1 year before Metroid Prime 3 and 2 years after Metroid Prime 2. It won multiple DS-related awards for that year, such as Best DS Action Game from IGN and Best Shooter/Action Game by Nintendo Power.
Can I have the drugs they were on?
No!
Damn it.
The game was not made by Retro Studios, but in-house at Nintendo by Nintendo Software Technology, a team that had previously worked on titles like Ridge Racer 64, Pokemon Puzzle League, and Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Seems as if all this team has done since Metroid Prime Hunters is more Mario vs. Donkey Kong and helping with various ports to the 3DS and Nintendo Switch. The result of their efforts is a multiplayer-focused Metroid game to showcase the graphical power of the Nintendo DS in the same way Mario 64 DS was meant to, while also being a title make use of the Nintendo DS Wi-Fi capabilities. While FPS multiplayer shooters weren't at their peak popularity yet, Halo 2 is still out on the scene as well as Call of Duty 3, so Nintendo probably still wanted their slice of the action as well. Metroid Prime Hunters single-player mode takes place in the Olympic Cluster in the Tetra Galaxy. One day, a mysterious telepathic message is received by the Galactic Federation about ultimate power located somewhere in the Olympic Cluster. Fuck me, it's hard to say that. Since the Tetra Galaxy is outside Federation space, they decided to hire Samsus to investigate. Though even if it was in Federation space, I'm sure they would have reached out to Samsus for the job anyway. The Federation is not the only ones to receive the message though, as various other bounty hunters have received the same message and are on the hunt for this mysterious power. These hunters include Don't Care, Fuck Off, No Name, Call Someone Who Gives a Damn, I Don't Know Your Name Either, and Silex, who I'm only naming because he's in the upcoming Prime 4. And no, I don't even care that fans of this game seem to love him for some reason, because he really isn't any different than the other boring hunters. Is it because he hates the Federation? Is it his animation in the opening? Is it his design? It's probably his design, isn't it? For being labeled as an entire solar system, the entire game only takes place across 2 planets and 2 space stations. For each one, the gameplay is exactly the same. You land on the planet, wander around for 3 keys which I guess are similar to the Dark Temple keys in Prime 2. Then you fight a boss. Beating the boss then awards you with an Octolith, which I guess are like this game's Chozo artifacts or Sky Temple keys. In total, you need 8 octoliths to access the final area of the game, which means each area has 2 defined. For a DS title, having a simple setup sounds suitable for portable gaming, and it probably doesn't sound too bad. Find 2 boss fights in each area, fight them, and get out of there. But you're probably wondering, what could be wrong with this setup? Well, lots of things, so let's get into that. Control stems with the D-pad with the L button being used to shoot, and the stylus is used for aiming, switching weapons, and activating the morph ball. You can jump by either pressing the A button or double tapping the screen, which I personally just double tap the screen. These controls are where problems start, because if you're a fan of the combat system from the first 2 Prime games, like I am, then dodging and timing shocks is almost completely gone. There is no lock-on or dodging mechanic here at all. It's all about aiming your shocks and position yourself to avoid oncoming damage, like a more traditional first-person shooter. Samsung starts out with a various suit, charge beam, morph ball bombs, and even the boost ball. However, get used to that because there are no upgrades in this game. The boost ball doesn't even get used for puzzles either. What is a Metroid game without upgrades to find? I guess that isn't completely true because you can find the various guns associated with the other hunters, which you can then use to destroy these holographic roadblocks or open the corresponding beam door, but that's it. The game is entirely lacking power-ups otherwise. No spider ball, no visor upgrades, no suit upgrades, none of that. They could have at least included the space jumping Samus's default loadout, then make platforming less of a pain in the ass, but they don't even have the decency to do that.
Get over it, you fucking addict.
The game gets extremely repetitive really fast, as it's just you shooting around until you find the keys to fight the boss. Any puzzles usually just involve scanning things, it's more basic than Prime 1. The areas are also very uninteresting because it's just a bunch of lazily constructed rooms. The best rooms in the game are just the multiplayer maps they reuse from time to time to fill out the world. Then there's the increased repetition of the fact that there are only 2 bosses. Yes, 2. There's this giant tower and this big ass eye you have to fight 4 times a piece. Then on top of that, each time you defeat one, you have to rush back to your ship in an escape sequence. However, the planets aren't exploding, as you have to go back later for the second octolith each area has, so what the fuck? You can't say it's because Samus has an octolith either, because at numerous points in the game you can run into the other hunters for rival battles so pathetic it makes Sonic Adventure blush. I mean, look at this poor asshole I blew away like it was nothing during an escape sequence. You see, losing a battle with another bounty hunter means the jackass steals an octolith from Samus and you gotta spend time hunting them down to get it back. I ended up getting killed twice when I was not trying hard enough, and while Silex I think is a scripted battle, so he was right there for me to win the rematch, the other jackass I had to hunt down. Thankfully I found out that leaving and re-entering any room that triggers a fight will just cause the next asshole to log in for you to kill, so getting the octolith back was a cakewalk. However, that circles us back to the escape sequences. Why do they happen? Clearly Samus isn't storing the octoliths in her ship, so we can't just say it's a rush to escape before she gets jumped for having one on her person, because she's always carrying them at all times. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit to pad the game out more. That's all these escape sequences are. In various rooms you may run into Guardians as well instead of opposing hunters, and fuck these guys! They are basically this game's equivalent to Chozo Ghosts and Dark Commandos. Lean more into the Dark Commando side of things because not only do they spawn in groups of 3, but they lock the fucking door until you beat them and they appear fucking everywhere. And unlike the Dark Commandos, you can't just freeze them for a quick kill or use a super missile like on the Chozo Ghost because there is no fucking super missile. There is no ice beam, there's no any of that. Again, there are no upgrades. It makes it so fucking boring. Editor Tyler here. I also need to note that the Guardians do not disappear like the Chozo Ghosts and Dark Commandos. I kind of forgot that in the script. They just spawn in groups of 3 and lock the doors and are fucking everywhere, which make them extremely annoying. You don't need a visor to fight them or anything. And no, I don't care about going to each weapon in detail. You get the sniper rifle one, the one that's an electric blast that does damage over time, then the rest are different forms of hard hitting projectiles. The game is just boring and can feel extremely unfair at times. Not to mention, the game has fucking bombless picks that insta-kill you. Now this was the first Metroid game to include checkpoints, so death only sends you back a bit. But who the fuck puts bottomless pits in a fucking Metroid game? In Prime 2, there are pits you can follow in the Sanctuary Fortress, but they just reset you to the start of the room with some health taken away. They don't instantly kill you! If it wasn't for the checkpoints, this would make the game fucking unplayable, not to mention your ship is the only way to save the game as well. There are no save rooms, except a couple teleporters around each map, so you can teleport back to the ship to save. Platforming in this game is total ass, the level design is complete garbage, the game design is overall just terrible, and between the terrible controls and the goddamn death picks, I felt levels of anger I never felt in any Metroid game before.
Game also gives you hand cramps.
Stop bitching, you wimp.
No, I'm gonna keep bitching. That's what you want me to do.
The game is so pathetic with its single player, I'm already running out of things to talk about. Once you have all the octoliths, there's a spot you go to unlock the final area, and why? You have a fifth line for the orbit, so why did you leave it blank and make the final area share a line with the other planet? Just why? In this final area, Gorilla, and no, I don't care if I pronounced that correctly, is unsealed. Throughout the game, these spirits you can find and scan beat you over the head with how they had to seal away Gorilla because of how dangerous it was, and it wiped out their entire race. Means absolutely fucking nothing as Samus collects the octoliths anyway to free Gorilla, and I think linking Link's Awakening showed more heads and see about waking up the Windfish than Samus does here about freeing Gorilla. And yes, that is a fucking joke because neither gave a single fuck. Anyway, Gorilla is free and fucks up the other hunters, stealing their weapons before taking its place as final boss. If you beat this first phase, then the game just ends, it's implied Samus dies, so don't do that. You have to shoot the brightly colored circles around the arena, then your ship will tell you when you do it in the correct order. Then you can defeat Gorilla phase 1, and for phase 2 you get the Omega Cannon to fuck Gorilla up some more, and the weapon's nothing special. After you defeat her, him, I don't know. After you defeat it, the hunters who actually live the almighty suck from Gorilla's tentacles escape, and Samus is thanked by the spirits of the Olympics. The graphics are fine for DS standards, but the music is incredibly forgettable. I remember the lame escape theme and the battle theme for when you're up against another hunter. And yeah, that's about it. The level design is horrible with no puzzles or interesting layouts to explore. The game is about pointing and shooting at things, with the occasional break to use the scan visor. Bosses are repeated, the controls suck, and overall if you're thinking of playing Metroid Prime Hunter single player, reconsider because this is just plain bad.
Okay, fine. I completed the game. Can we go now?
You are not done yet. There's still the multiplayer. You can't say you reviewed the entire game without looking at the multiplayer. After all, your brother is here to help you, just like with Prime 2. Your suffering does not end until you cover the entire game.
Of course, the fucking multiplayer. Of course, the fucking multiplayer.
Alright, so the multiplayer has 7 characters you can choose from for playing 4-player action, either in 4-man free-for-alls or 2v2s. There's a good handful of maps and 7 modes to choose from. This includes your basic deathmatch, capture the flag with octoliths, and a survival mode which is like deathmatch but with lives that remind me of Super Smash Bros. Then there are the unique modes, such as this boring octolith capture mode. It's only on one map, and yeah, this sucks. Then there's the Prime Hunter mode. This mode is actually kind of cool. Getting a kill turns you into the Prime Hunter where your health is constantly draining. If someone kills the Prime Hunter, then they become the Prime Hunter, or if the hunter dies to their draining health, then it's back to whoever gets the next kill. Getting enough time as Prime Hunter is how you win. In every mode, players start out with the basic power beam and some missiles. Before I actually played this game, I always falsely assumed that each character was like a class of sorts in other games where you got their special weapon, but that isn't the case as the special weapons randomly spawn at special points around the arenas. Basically what makes each character different besides their hug is their morph ball equivalent. Samus has the classic morph ball with bombs and the boost ball, but other hunters do things differently. It could be a massive orb that does a bunch of contact damage, it could be split in half where you move as the top half while the bottom half acts as a turret, or it could be moving super quick with a damage and dash, and so on. You know what? This multiplayer isn't bad. It being limited to 4 players meaning it was never going to compete with the big first-person shooters of the 2000s and 2010s, but that doesn't mean it doesn't accomplish what it sets out to do. This is certainly a lot better than the half-assed multiplayer in Prime 2, that's for sure. Aiming matters, there are a variety of game modes and weapons, and outside of possible hand cramps due to the controls, this is about as fun as I'd say something like Half-Life 2 Deathmatch or Quake.
Is that enough now? I mean, we played through multiplayer. You know what? It actually wasn't that bad.
What? You liked the multiplayer?
It's not my fault I kind of enjoyed the multiplayer. You know, the multiplayer is actually not that bad in Metroid Prime Hunters. I've severely underrated it all this time just because I haven't had access to it.
You're supposed to be continuing to suffer. How dare you find enjoyment in outdated multiplayer from a 2006 DS game?
Well, we like the multiplayer. Boo-hoo. I didn't enjoy the single player, so you got what you wanted there. Can we go now?
Enjoy the multiplayer. But no, you can't leave yet. You are still not done. Look at your DS again.
First hunt? Are you fucking kidding me?
That's right. Metroid Prime Hunter's First Hunt has its own content. Cover it too.
Okay, this will be quick. Metroid Prime Hunter's First Hunt was the demo bundled in with the Nintendo DS that launched to hype up people for the upcoming game. The devs were actually against making this demo, but the higher ups at Nintendo insisted. This demo is about as bare bones as you can get. You get 3 modes. One is basic time attack where you shoot down enemies in a set of rooms. The second is a survival mode where you try to last as long as possible in a room full of these jellyfish-like creatures and Metroids. Then the final is an obstacle course using the Morph Ball and Boost Ball. That is it. This is the poster child for a cartridge you only buy if you're a fan of the series. And I'm a Metroid fan, so that's the only reason why I own this. The FMVs are kind of cool to see. This demo has Metroids in it, which the actual game does not, and there's a kind of cool DS remix of Wrigley's theme in the survival mode. Which now I mentioned it, yeah, the actual game doesn't have any Metroids. I think it was the first game in the series to lack them.
There, I finished First Hunt. Now can you let us go? There's no more Metroid Prime Hunters to do. We did the single player, we did the multiplayer, I even did the stupid demo.
You think you've won? You may have survived the single player. You may like the multiplayer. A First Hunt may only be a demo with barely any content, but you still lose. You are my captive now. You will play the game again. You will play Metroid Prime Hunters till the end of time. You will play all the shit games out there for YouTube, and I'll reap the ad revenue. If this channel fails, you make a new one. A new one after that, if need be. We will find the formula that works. Time for classic games. I want Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. E.T. for the 2600. Superman 64. Wants a bit newer? You can play Big Rigs. Frogger and the Great Crest. SpongeBob, Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. Roundhouse games too, such as Chibi, Robo, Ziplash. The Game Boy DS have plenty of shovelware for you to cover, but we too. You can play notable games and great franchises. Duke Nukem Forever, Bomberman Hack Zero. You can play games with your dumb brother too, like old LJN sports games, Sonic Core, or...
Alright, yeah, you just listed a whole bunch of terrible games I don't want to play, but... Sonic Core's not that bad.
I could play some Sonic R.
You like Sonic R?
You haven't seen any YouTube videos on Sonic R?
No, I may live in the internet and be craved from it, but that doesn't mean I have time to watch any fucking YouTube video out there. Is that stupid referencing old Some Call Me Johnny video, you stupid copycat? It's from an old one, isn't it? One of those stupid SGB reviews I haven't watched.
You tied us up with extension cables. And you had...
Yeah, I haven't watched any of those old ass videos. I already had to watch all those angry video game nerd videos that were recorded with a potato. I'm a monster, not a fucking loser who watches those videos all day like you.
Okay, that means you won't know about this.
What do you think you'll do?
Well, that was easy. Wish I fucking knew about that sooner. Yay. So, Metroid Prime Hunters. It's multiplayer, is actually alright. I've severely underrated it forever now. And we only play against each other with box, so, you know, I don't regret buying this game now, because maybe one day I'll be able to enjoy some 4-player action. Still gave us hand cramps though, so maybe there'll be a better way to play it control-wise in the future. But yeah, single player, avoid it. It's so fucking bad. But yeah, that's now in the books.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask. When are you gonna play Final Fantasy or like Resident Evil or something like that?
Resident Evil one day, Final Fantasy no.
Why not?
Because I'm not an RPG guy. Get out of here. Okay, so anyway, let me turn on the lights. So yeah, next time we'll be meeting for the final Metroid Prime game until later this year, Metroid Prime 3. So thank you all for watching. I already have videos from Metroid Prime 1 and 2 that you can I'll put a card up top. I feel like I should. I put a card for Metroid Prime 2 to 1, so I'll put a card to one of those. And yeah, see y'all then.